We like to party. The Vanga bus is coming. The Vanga bus is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the F&G show on the Vanga bus. The Vanga bus is coming. It's a party bus. Y'all don't know that song. It's way back in the 80s. The Vanga bus is coming.
And all is over a glass of wine. What do we got today, Frank?
Well, today we're going to have news.
What hot news is out there today, man?
Well, we're going to talk about a train derailment. Amtrak. Oh, no, not Amtrak again. Well, I'm older than he is, so Amtrak just doesn't have a good reputation. So we're going to watch a news clip, and we're going to talk about this afterwards.
An Amtrak train derailing in Montana overnight. At least 3 people killed and multiple people injured. ABC's Zareen Shah has the very latest developments for us this morning. Zareen, good morning to you.
Good morning. With that train was heading right here to Seattle, it never made it. It took a deadly turn over 700 miles away. Nearly every car on that train flying off those tracks, leaving multiple people dead.
Before we go any further with this,
Mm-hmm.
Amtrak, is that what we rode when we went to New Orleans?
Yeah. I think Amtrak is the train everybody rides.
I mean, I know they have like other little trains from here and there, but Amtrak is the main one.
I think Amtrak is the main one. Amtrak has been around a long time. I've never heard of another train company other than Amtrak.
Because, well, I guess that's what we rode when we went to New Orleans then.
Yeah, I think it was Amtrak.
That's my first and only real train ride like that, other than
Me
riding
neither.
the train at the amusement park. But let's see what's going on here.
Overnight, a deadly Amtrak accident after several train cars suddenly derailed off tracks in a remote Montana town, leaving multiple people injured and at least 3 people dead.
This hasn't ever happened.
Very bumpy, like extreme turbulence and very loud noises, and it kind of smelled of smoke. And so my first thought was that we were derailing. And then I thought that was crazy.
This dramatic video capturing one train car fallen on its side, images showing the nearby cars completely off the rails.
Wow. You know what's funny is she said the first thing she thought of was it was derailing. If I was in there and I heard all that noise and I smell smoke, my first thought would be it's on fire.
Okay.
Not derailment, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire type thing.
Yeah.
Now, if we was rocking back and forth, I'd be like, oh, Lord, we coming off the rails.
Yeah, we coming off the rails. But, unfortunately, when there's smoke, there's derailment.
Yeah.
Empire Builder train starting in Chicago, heading to Seattle until that tragic turn near the town of Joplin. Amtrak reporting that around 4 p.m. local time, 8 of the train's 10 cars derailed. Wow. Officials writing in a statement, "We are sending emergency personnel and Amtrak leadership to the scene to help support our passengers, our employees, and their families." These images showing first responders quickly arriving on the scene and passengers stepping in to help the injured, working with officials to try and rescue those inside. The NTSB is now involved. They're investigating just how this crash happened. But look, right now the situation is so fluid. It happened in such a remote area. We don't even know exactly how many people were injured. Dan?
So many questions. We know you'll stay on top of the story, Zorine. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Well.
You know what I think of when it says out in a remote area? Everybody thinks more about planes, automobiles, even boats. But you never really hear too much about them fixing up the tracks on trains. You know what I'm saying? And
You hit the nail on the head.
Which maybe they should have, and it wouldn't have derailed. But out there,
Gee.
I'm not laughing at their death, man.
No, not laughing at the death. We're laughing at the infrastructure of our country is pretty atrocious.
Out there, because in the city, you know they're going to make sure everything is good.
Well, I don't know about that either.
Enough to get out of the city. But out there, like in a remote area, what are they doing out there? I'm sure with all the tracks that's been laid, there's nobody that actually goes out there. You don't know school thing, they be like, and they be going track. I'm sure ain't nobody going around checking all the
I'm
tracks.
sure the track was probably rusted out. like most Amtrak trains. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Amtrak. When I was growing up, I was supposed to take a train ride on Amtrak from D.C. to D.C. to Baltimore, and let me tell you, that Amtrak train stopped at least 5 times on the track, and it was supposed to be about an hour ride. It took us 3 to 4 hours to get D.C. to Baltimore because the train kept stopping.
What year was that? You remember?
Oh, that was back in the 70s.
Ooh, Lord.
So Amtrak has an atrocious record of efficiency. The trains are as old as Methuselah. And our infrastructure on trains and mass transit in this country has fallen into disarray completely. And that's why these things happen. When you don't update equipment, when you don't update your infrastructure, highways falling down, pancaking, and bridges just collapsing and people dying. Has been happening all over the country on infrastructure, trains. And so it's happening with trains, highways, bridges collapsing. So I'm trying to wonder, where's all the doggone money getting spent on if they're not fixing up nothing?
That's true.
Going in politicians' pockets, but nobody's spending money on roads and bridges. And so I know the president has an infrastructure plan, and hopefully that will fix Amtrak. Well, they've been trying to fix Amtrak since the 1970s, and they still haven't done it.
I only took one train ride. Me, Frank, and our wives went to New Orleans for a couple of days.
How many times that train stop on that track?
Oh man, it stopped like every 10, 15 minutes.
Every 10 to 15 minutes.
And a few of those times it backed up. I'm
Backed
like, what
up
the heck,
on the track.
So that's why everybody was nice and toasty, as in lit off the liquor.
On the train.
Before we got there.
Yeah.
I mean, you drink, you eat, and then you sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, we ain't there yet.
And when they sit on the track and stop, we were sitting for an hour and maybe an hour on the train track. You just got out the train and walked.
And derailment, I would say that is a serious thing because I have a Allstate app on my phone, which it tells you how fast you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get the extra money back from the insurance company. I've got to turn it off. So I know when we was going there, when we did get to moving, we was clocking well over 80 miles an hour on that track. I think at one time I saw 90, 85, 90 on the app, and I had to turn it off because I was messing up my points, trying to get me some money in my pocket. They thinking I'm driving that fast, so which is weird. If they looked it up, they'll see I'm on train tracks. Hey,
Right,
driving that fast on train
right.
track. But they ain't gonna do all that. They just gonna be like, no money for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to other countries like Japan,
Oh, they got the bullet trains over there.
they have bullet trains and hover trains
a
that
whole lot
just
faster.
you can get to one spot, leave one spot, and get to another spot that takes about 2 hours and get there in about 30 minutes. Them things are going about 100, 200, 300 miles per hour.
By the time you uncork
The
your
wine, you there. And we haven't, and I'm not talking about just recently. Japan has had this kind of mass transit all the way back to the 80s and maybe the late 70s. And we over here got this dilapidated mass transit system. And I don't understand. Dilapidated. I mean, look at them trains. They look horrible. They don't even look, they look like cattle cars.
Yeah, and the seats broken down. Maybe it was just where we sat. The seats was
No,
broken down.
they were broken down in the 70s. Same trains.
Well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the hot news that's going on now. Condolences out to those loved ones, the family that lost someone on the train. And speedy recovery for the dozens of folks that were injured.
Yeah, they were injured. Go ahead and sue Amtrak. Get your money because that's the only thing you can do.
Man. Well, that's it for me. You got anything else?
No, don't ride Amtrak. That's all I can say.
This guy here. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the Amtrak train derailment in Montana. They talking about on Good Morning America. And this is the F&G show.
The F&G show.
Over a glass of wine.
Over a glass of wine.
And we are out.
We're out.